Good morning, everyone. So I want to do an off-the-cuff sort of video today. This is not something that I typically talk about, but it is something that popped in today, and I want to just talk about it. I am not here to debate. I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to prove a point. I am just strictly sharing how I have experienced my human journey and what is unraveling right now, offering it up to you to take it or leave it. But again, I am not here to argue or debate this. So in the early 90s, I first heard of this thing called the New World Order, NWO. And at this point right now, it's playing out. But a lot of people, they call it a conspiracy theory. It is what it is. Back then, the New World Order was, what I learned was, and I didn't go into like the rabbit hole of it, and I still don't. But what I do know is that there are a small group of the wealthiest of families in the world. They're all over the world. And they have been in control of the planet for a very long time. But there's many, many countries, okay? And it's hard to control all the different countries. And so what this New World Order is trying to do is they are trying to control the entire world as one world. Sort of like one governmental system that is controlling every single country. That's a massive undertaking, right? That everybody would be following the same protocol, so to speak, regardless of where you were on the planet. And in the 90s, I was like, there's no way that's happening. That's absurd. That's ridiculous. I also was learning about, the chips that they were going to be putting into the bodies and all kinds of weird stuff, right? Again, super sci-fi. No way it's going to play out. Onward and upward, right? Next. And so now we've been in 2020, 2021, and I'm watching this play out. And how am I watching it play out? Well, I don't know how many countries there are, 100 and something? I have no idea how many countries there are. But they have to take over every single country, right? And how do they take over countries? They take over countries by controlling the population in that country. And how do they do that? With fear. What are most humans the most afraid of? Death, dying. Most humans will do almost anything to not die. And if they believe that they're dying, they will do whatever you say. The second thing, most humans are programmed to follow the herd. That's what we do. We're literally programmed. There's been so many experiments, psychological experiments that have been done that show that humans will follow the narrative. They will follow the herd, and they will also follow authority figures. So not only is their number one fear death for the most part, but they also know that humans are programmed to follow authority figures and the herd. So what do? They create a narrative, okay, that with a herd mentality, creating stories of belittling or name-calling those that don't follow the narrative, right? So it goes against the programmed human behavior. And then you have authority figures telling the humans what to do and telling the humans to belittle or name-call or divide those that don't follow the narrative. It's a genius way of doing this. It's absolutely genius. They've nailed it, except that they haven't. So what they're doing is, what I'm watching is, holy cow, they're going to try to take over the largest countries first, the most powerful countries first. And they do it with like dripping water, right? They don't do it all at once because humans wouldn't do it. They have to do it slowly, right? And so that's what they're doing, very slowly, except the last year and a half, it's ramped up. But again, you throw the fear of death into people and they'll follow. You throw herd mentality and you throw authority figures into it and they'll do what they're told. And so what we're watching is very powerful countries beginning to sort of quote unquote fall. And very powerful countries fighting tooth and nail to keep their freedom. Because like I've said, if you give, and they know this, the powers that be, these families know that if they get your body, they have you, right? So you give your body over to get a thing in the arm, and then another thing in the arm, and then another thing in the arm in order to keep your job, in order to get procedures and medical in hospitals, in order to get an education, in order to fly, all these things, right? May or may not unravel. It's unraveling in a lot of countries. And although we are flabbergasted by it, we're still sort of watching it unravel. We're watching it happen. Now, the New World Order will not succeed. It's not going to succeed. That's an absolute. But we do have to go through the inevitable process of watching them push this as far as they possibly can, but they will not succeed. I don't know how it ends, other than I know that we get out of it. I know that we move out of these lower states of consciousness, this shadow that is unraveling, this greed and fear and manipulation and mind control, right, that is being played out by these families that be. And this has been playing out for a very long time. This narrative that I'm giving you right now is not to create fear. It is to give you a perspective so that you can navigate this with eyes wide open. So my encouragement to all of you, including myself right now, is the most important piece is that we do not play in the fear, because fear will control you. And nobody is making you feel fear. You're choosing it. You're choosing fear. Fear is the number one most controlling consciousness, and it's tricky. So number one, stop playing in fear if you're playing in it. When you play in fear, it means that you are allowing the external to control you, to control your lens, to control your reality. So move inward, meditate more, be outside more. Go into nature more, laugh, dance, be with people that make you smile. Move inward, because you're safe inside. You're free inside of you. You're sovereign inside of you. You're in control when you go inside of you. The second thing that we really want to pay attention to is, and I'll say this over and over and over again, stop perpetuating the divide. The divide is created in order to keep us distracted, from choosing what is for our highest good, which is our freedom. So if we continue to fight over these divides that are being created, we're missing the point. So every day, instead of fighting against someone or against something, stand up for your rights, which just means I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to do what is for my highest good. I don't care what anyone else is doing. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I don't care what anyone else says. If we focus solely on ourselves and choose for ourselves and speak truth for ourselves, it has a massive ripple effect. So this is a massive undertaking that has been going on for quite some time. And they're trying to get these really large countries first, like Australia, Canada, the United States, Israel. They think that if they get the big countries first, all the other smaller countries will crumble. That's the plan. But we're going to fight hard for our freedoms, and it doesn't pan out. It doesn't pan out. So stay in your heart. Have empathy, compassion, love for yourself. Have empathy, compassion, and love for all the other humans. Don't perpetuate a divide. Stay out of fear. Empower yourself by knowing that nobody is creating fear in you unless you choose to have it. And continue to do things that keep you in higher states of consciousness. Whatever you need to do to stay in higher states of consciousness over and over and over. And that is not getting angry and yelling at people, trying to belittle people and trying to create more of a divide than we're already in. If somebody wants to come at you, let them come at you. Just hold love, compassion, and empathy. We've got this. We make it through this. We bring the entire human collective into these higher states of consciousness. So be gentle with yourself, be gentle with others. I love you, and that's it.